My beloved child, listen to me now. Do not delay. Do not look away. This moment is not ordinary, and this message did not find you by chance. I am speaking to you today because today your miracle will happen, and heaven is watching what you do with this moment. I am asking you to open your heart right now, because what you choose in these few moments will decide what unfolds next in your life. I am not here to frighten you, but I am here with urgency, because love sometimes speaks quickly when time matters. My child, I need your attention. Not tomorrow, not later. Now. I know how tired you are. I know how many times you have waited, hoped, prayed, and then wondered if anything would ever change. I know the disappointment you learned to hide behind strength. But today is different. Today is marked. Today is watch. Today carries a gift that was prepared before you even knew to ask for it. And yes, I am pleased when you open your heart now, because obedience opens doors that waiting alone cannot. You may be thinking, is this really for me? Listen closely. If it were not for you, you would not be here. I do not interrupt lives without reason. I do not call my children without purpose. You are not late, and you are not early. You are exactly where you must be. This is your moment. What I am offering today cannot be carried into tomorrow if it is rejected now. Not because I withdraw my love, but because some blessings are tied to timing. My beloved, I see heaven leaning in. I see angels standing ready. I see prayers rising that you thought were forgotten. And I tell you this with tenderness and truth. Your miracle is already prepared. It is not being created. It is not being decided. It is ready. What remains is your response. Will you open your heart now, or will you hesitate because fear has trained you to delay joy? I know your story. I know the nights when you whispered my name with tears on your pillow. I know the days when you smiled for others, but felt empty inside. I know the questions you were afraid to ask out loud. I know how many times you told yourself to expect less so it would hurt less. But my child, today I ask you to expect me. Not cautiously, not half-heartedly, fully. Do not think this urgency means danger. It means opportunity. It means alignment. It means heaven and earth are meeting at this point in your life. Love is calling you forward, not pushing you away. I am not angry with you. I am pleased with you. And yes, it brings joy to my heart when you open this message now, because it tells me you still trust me enough to listen. You have been standing at the edge of change without realizing it. You felt restlessness in your spirit. You felt a quiet stirring you could not explain. That was me. I was preparing you for today. I was softening the soil of your heart so that what I speak now can take root and grow quickly. Some seeds take time, but some moments are meant for immediate planting. This is one of them. My child, do not underestimate what happens when you choose me quickly. Delay has robbed you before. You waited for certainty, for signs, for reassurance, and fear dressed itself as wisdom. But today I tell you clearly, your miracle is not waiting on proof, it is waiting on trust. Trust does not mean you understand everything. It means you open your heart even while questions remain. I am not asking you to run blindly. I am asking you to step willingly. I am not asking you to be fearless. I am asking you to be faithful. And faith sometimes looks like opening your heart when you are tired of being disappointed. Faith looks like listening even when part of you wants to protect itself from hope. Heaven is watching not to judge you, but to respond to you. Every movement of your heart matters right now. Every yes you whisper, every wall you lower, every tear you release, it all opens space for me to move. You are not alone in this moment. I am closer than you realize. I am speaking gently but firmly because I love you too much to let you miss what I have prepared. My beloved, there are doors that only open when you respond immediately. Not because I rush you, but because delay gives doubt time to speak. Doubt will tell you to wait until you feel ready. But readiness is not a feeling. Readiness is obedience. And you are more ready than you think, because I would not call you if you were not. You have learned to survive. Today I am calling you to receive. Survival taught you how to endure, but receiving will teach you how to live. Do not confuse caution with wisdom in this moment. Wisdom is hearing my voice and responding while it is clear. This clarity you feel right now is not accidental. It will not linger forever if ignored. That is why I speak with urgency and love together. I know your fears. I know the voice that says, "What if nothing happens again?" I know the memory of past disappointments that makes you guard your heart. But hear me clearly. This is not the same moment. This is not the same season. You are not the same person. And I am doing something new that requires a new response from you. My child, I am smiling over you as I speak. Not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. Even your hesitation has not driven me away. I am still here, still calling, still offering. But I will be honest with you, because love speaks truth. This moment matters. What you do now will shape what unfolds next. Type Father, I love you beyond words if he's the center of your whole life. Open your heart. Let go of the need to control how the miracle arrives. Let go of the demand to understand every step. Let go of the fear that whispers you are asking for too much. You are not asking for too much. You are asking me, and I am enough. I see the path ahead. You see only the next step. That is enough. You do not need to carry the whole journey in your mind. You only need to say yes in your spirit. Heaven responds to yes. Heaven moves when faith speaks. Heaven rejoices when my children trust me enough to open their hearts without delay. My beloved, do not scroll past this moment in your life. Do not treat it as just another message. I am speaking to you personally, intentionally, lovingly. You asked for change. You asked for relief. You asked for a sign. This is your sign. This is your invitation. This is your moment. Today your miracle will happen, not because you earned it, but because you are loved. And I will be happy when you open your heart now, because love always rejoices when it is received. Stay with me. Listen. Open yourself. What comes next will confirm what I am speaking now. My beloved child, come closer and listen to me. I want you to know this with certainty. Deep in your heart and beyond your doubts, this moment was planned before you were born. It did not surprise me that you are here now, hearing these words. Long before your name was spoken on earth, long before your first breath, I saw this very hour. I saw you sitting with questions in your heart, longing for clarity, hoping for change, wondering if your life truly matters the way you feel it should. I knew you would reach this moment, and I prepared it with care and love. Nothing about your life has been accidental. Not your birth, not your path, not even the seasons that felt wasted or delayed. I have been watching you from the very beginning. When you were small and innocent, when your heart trusted easily, I was there. When life hardened you, when disappointment taught you caution, I was still there. When you cried tears no one else saw, I saw them. When you prayed prayers you were not sure, I heard every word. Not one sigh escaped my notice. Not one tear fell without meaning. You may look back and see moments that feel disconnected, times that seem like mistakes or wrong turns. But I see a continuous story, carefully held together by my hand. Even the delays you resented, even the waiting that exhausted you, were not signs of abandonment. They were pauses written into your story on purpose. I was shaping you, protecting you, and keeping certain doors closed until your heart and your strength were ready to walk through them. I never forgot you, not for a moment. I watched you struggle to understand why things took so long. I saw how you questioned yourself, wondering if you had failed, wondering if you were unworthy of the answers you were seeking. I saw how you compared your life to others and felt left behind. And still, I stayed close. I did not rush you because love did not rush what it triggers. I allowed time to do its work in you, even when you did not understand why time moved the way it did. My child, today is not just another day. Today is a turning point that was written long ago. This is one of those moments that divides before and after, even if it does not look dramatic on the outside. Heaven knows the weight of this hour. Heaven knows what has been prepared for you. That is why you feel something stirring inside you now, something that feels like awareness, like recognition, like truth finding its way home. That stirring is not your imagination. It is my spirit reminding you that you are exactly where you need to be. Please support our channel. Our efforts are meant to bring happiness into your life and strengthen devotion to God. If you would like, you can show your support by donating through Super Thanks. You did not arrive here by chance. Every step, even the painful ones, brought you closer to this moment. The disappointments that taught you endurance, the losses that deepened your compassion, the unanswered prayers that stretched your faith, all of them were shaping you for what comes next. I know it did not feel purposeful at the time. I know you often felt alone in the waiting. But I was working quietly, aligning things you could not see, holding back what would have overwhelmed you, and preparing what would one day bless you. I have been present in every season of your life, not only the ones you celebrate. I was present in the confusion, in the heartbreak, in the silence. I was there when you felt overlooked and misunderstood. I was there when you tried to stay strong for others while your own heart was tired. I did not turn away from you in those moments. I leaned closer. I carried you when you thought you were standing on your own. Many times you survived the things you did not think you could survive, and you wondered where that strength came from. It came from me. I want you to understand how deeply known you are. I know your fears and your hopes. I know the parts of you that feel confident and the parts that feel fragile. I know the dreams you still protect quietly and the ones you buried because waiting became too painful. I know the prayers you stopped praying out loud because you were afraid of being disappointed again. And none of that has made me pull away from you. It has drawn me closer because I care about every layer of your heart. Heaven is leaning close right now, not because you are in danger, but because you are at the edge of something meaningful. There is a shift already happening, even if you cannot yet see it clearly. Things are beginning to align in ways that will soon become visible. The change may start quietly, like a thought that settles differently in your mind, like peace replacing anxiety, like hope returning where you had learned to expect less. Do not dismiss these small movements. They are signs that something new is taking shape. I know you have learned to be cautious with hope. You have protected yourself by lowering expectations, by telling yourself not to believe too quickly. That caution kept you safe for a time, but it is not meant to define you forever. Today I am inviting you to trust again, not blindly, but knowingly. Trust me, who has walked with you through every chapter of your life. Trust me, who knows where you have been and where you are going. This moment was written into your story because you are ready for it now. Not because you are perfect, but because you have grown. You have learned compassion through pain. You have learned patience through waiting. You have learned resilience through loss. These lessons were not easy, but they were valuable, and they have prepared you for what comes next. I do not waste suffering, and I do not overlook growth that happens quietly. I want you to feel how personal this is. I am not speaking in general terms. I am speaking to you. I know the exact thoughts that run through your mind late at night. I know the questions you ask when no one else is listening. I know the parts of you that still wonder if your life will truly change. And I tell you now, with love and certainty, this moment matters. It is part of the unfolding of your destiny, not something separate from it. You may not see the full picture yet, and that is okay. You are not meant to carry the whole future in your understanding. You are only meant to trust me in the present. The next steps will become clear as you move forward with me. For now, know this: you are seen, you are known, and you are deeply loved. Heaven is not distant. Heaven is attentive. Heaven is responding. I have always been faithful to you, even when you doubted my nearness. I have always been involved in your story, even when the plot felt confusing. And I will continue to walk with you as this new chapter begins. Let your heart rest in this truth. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are standing exactly where you were meant to stand, at a moment prepared for you long before you knew to look for it. My beloved child, come and rest your heart in my words for a moment. I know you have carried questions for a long time. I know you have asked me why the road was so hard, why the answers did not come when you needed them most, why silence seemed to stretch longer than you could bear. I have seen you wrestle with confusion, wondering if you had done something wrong, wondering if your pain was a sign of failure or punishment. Hear me now with a calm and open heart. The waiting was never a punishment. The silence was never rejection. The pain was never meaningless. I allowed the waiting because I was preparing you, not pushing you away. I allowed the silence because I was working deeper than words could reach. I allowed the pain not because I delight in suffering, but because there were things within you that could only be shaped through endurance, compassion, and quiet strength. I know that is hard to understand when you are in the middle of it. I know how lonely the waiting felt. I know how many nights you lay awake asking me to speak, to move, to do something, anything to show that you were not forgotten. And I was there in every one of those nights. You were never abandoned in your suffering. I was closer than you realized. When your prayers felt like they hit the ceiling and fell back down, I was listening. When your tears soaked your pillow and your heart felt too heavy to explain, I was holding you. When you questioned your worth and wondered if you were strong enough to keep going, I was strengthening you quietly from within. Not one tear was wasted. Not one night of pain was overlooked. Every moment mattered. even when it felt unbearable. You blamed yourself for the delays. You wondered if you missed something, if you chose wrong, if you were not faithful enough. I want to lift that weight from your heart now. You were not being punished. You were being protected. There were things you asked for that you were not yet ready to carry, not because you were weak, but because the blessing itself required a deeper foundation than you had at the time. I love you too much to give you something that would crush you under its weight. The waiting taught you patience you did not know you had. The silence taught you to listen beyond noise. The pain softened your heart so that you could love more deeply and understand others more fully. These were not lessons you asked for, but they were lessons that shaped you into someone who can now receive what once would have overwhelmed you. I was building strength in you quietly, like roots growing deep beneath the surface while nothing seemed to be happening above ground. I know you felt left behind as others moved forward. I know comparison made the waiting even heavier. You watched doors open for others while yours remained closed, and you wondered what you were doing wrong. But I was not measuring you against anyone else. I was guiding you on a path designed uniquely for you. Your timing was different because your calling is different. What I am preparing you for requires depth, resilience, and a heart that knows both sorrow and hope. You learned how to survive seasons you never thought you would endure. You learned how to stand when you wanted to collapse. You learned how to keep believing even when belief felt fragile. These are not small things. They are signs of growth, even if you did not recognize them at the time. Strength was forming in you quietly, without applause, without recognition, without immediate reward. But it was real, and it remains within you now. I saw you try to be strong for everyone else while you were breaking inside. I saw you smile when you wanted to cry. I saw you carry responsibilities that felt too heavy for your heart. I never expected you to handle all of that alone. I was with you even when you felt unsupported. I was giving you endurance not to trap you in suffering, but to prepare you for freedom. Freedom often requires strength, and strength is often born in silence. The unanswered prayers were not ignored prayers. They were prayers waiting for the right season. Some answers require time to unfold, people to change, circumstances to align, and your own heart to heal. I was working in ways you could not see, protecting you from outcomes that would have caused more harm than good. Trust that my timing was guided by love, not indifference. Say you are my first and forever love, Lord, if your heart is completely His. I want you to release the guilt you have carried. You did not fail me by struggling. You did not disappoint me by feeling tired. You did not weaken your faith by asking questions. I am not threatened by your honesty. I am moved by it. Your vulnerability did not push me away. It invited me closer. Let go of the idea that you had to be perfect to be loved. You were loved through every imperfect moment. Now you stand at a place where you can look back and see how much you have grown, even if you still feel tender. You are stronger than you were, not hardened, but wiser. You are more compassionate, more patient, more aware of what truly matters. This strength did not come loudly. It came quietly, formed in the shadows, shaped in moments no one else witnessed. And now, you are ready for what once would have overwhelmed you. What is ahead of you requires the very things you gained in the waiting. It requires the depth you developed in silence. It requires the resilience you built in pain. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was meaningless. Every step, every delay, every tear played a part in preparing you for this season. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. Rest your heart in this truth. I have always been for you. I have always been working for your good. The waiting is giving way to movement. The silence is giving way to clarity. The pain is giving way to purpose. And I am walking with you into what comes next, just as I walked with you through what has been. My beloved child, listen to me with your whole heart now, because I need you to understand something clearly and without confusion. The miracle you have been praying for is not far away. It is already moving toward you. It is not a distant promise, not a future possibility, not something waiting to be decided. It is already in motion, already unfolding, already responding to the faith you have carried through the waiting. Even now, as you hear these words, heaven is active on your behalf. You have spent so long looking ahead, wondering when things would finally change, wondering how long you would have to endure before relief came. But I tell you now, the movement has already begun. What you could not see while you were waiting has been taking shape quietly. Doors you thought were sealed have begun to loosen. Burdens you carried for years are beginning to lift. Chains that wrapped around your mind, your heart, and your circumstances are breaking in the unseen, even before you feel the full release. Do not measure my work only by what your eyes can see. Much of what I do happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible. Seeds break open underground before anything rises above the soil. Foundations are laid before buildings appear. In the same way, your miracle has been advancing quietly, step by step, moment by moment, even when you thought nothing was happening. Silence did not mean stillness. Waiting did not mean delay. I have been moving all along. I want your faith to rise now, not because you are forcing yourself to believe, but because truth is being revealed. What you have been asking for is aligning with the right timing, the right people, the right circumstances. Things are shifting into place in ways you could not have arranged on your own. I am working beyond your understanding, coordinating details you never would have considered, removing obstacles you did not even know existed. You may feel a change in your spirit already, a sense of anticipation mixed with calm, a quiet assurance that something is different. That is not imagination. That is my spirit confirming that movement is happening. I am responding to your prayers not with delay, but with precision. I do not rush, and I do not miss. What comes from me arrives at exactly the right moment, prepared to bless you rather than burden you. My child, do not let doubt interrupt what is unfolding now. Doubt often speaks when change is close, because fear senses that its time is ending. You may hear thoughts telling you not to get your hopes up, telling you to protect yourself from disappointment. I understand why those thoughts exist. They were formed in seasons when waiting was painful. But they do not belong in this moment. This is not the time to pull back. This is not the time to scroll away from what I am doing. This is not the time to delay obedience because of uncertainty. I am asking you to stay present. Stay open. Stay receptive. When heaven moves, attention matters. Faith matters. Your willingness to listen and respond matters. I am not asking you to understand every step. I am asking you not to turn away when I am drawing near. Do not miss this moment by treating it lightly. There are times when a single decision, a single act of trust, a single moment of openness allows a miracle to fully manifest. I speak to you with authority now, because this is important. Today is the day heaven responds. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Today. That does not mean everything must appear instantly, but it does mean the outcome is now set in motion. The response has been released. The answer has been activated. What unfolds from here will confirm what I am speaking to you now. I see burdens lifting that you have carried for so long you forgot what it felt like to be free of them. I see peace returning to places that were once filled with anxiety. I see clarity replacing confusion. I see opportunities opening where there were once only dead ends. I see strength flowing back into you, not the kind that forces endurance, but the kind that brings rest and confidence. You are closer than you think, closer than you feel, closer than you dared to hope. Do not measure progress only by external change. Internal change is often the first sign of a miracle. When your heart begins to believe again, when your spirit begins to relax, when your thoughts begin to shift from fear to expectation, that is evidence that something real is happening. I am not teasing you with words. I am preparing you with truth. The miracle moving toward you will not arrive to destroy you or overwhelm you. It will arrive to heal, restore, and align you with what you were always meant to walk in. That is why preparation mattered. That is why timing mattered. That is why you needed the strength you now carry. Stay with me. Do not disengage. Do not retreat into old habits of doubt. You have come too far to turn away now. Heaven has heard you. Heaven has responded. Heaven is moving. And as you continue to listen, trust, and obey, you will begin to see with your own eyes what has already begun in the unseen. This is not a distant promise. This is a present reality. Your miracle is already on its way. My beloved child, take my hand now and listen carefully, because what I am about to say matters deeply. This is not a moment for delay, and it is not a moment for half-hearted listening. I speak to you with love, but also with firmness, because love protects what is precious, and your destiny is precious to me. I am not rushing you out of impatience. I am guiding you because timing matters, and you are standing at a point where movement is required. First, I ask you not to ignore what you are feeling right now. That stirring in your heart, that sense of urgency mixed with hope, that quiet awareness that something must change, do not silence it. That is my voice reaching past your fears and your habits, calling you forward. You have learned to talk yourself out of moments like this. You have learned to delay, to overthink, to say later because later feels safer. But later has already cost you peace before. I do not want you to miss what is meant for you because fear disguises itself as caution. Do not delay obedience. Obedience does not mean you have all the answers. It means you trust me enough to move while I am speaking. When I prompt your heart, when I nudge your spirit, when I make something clear within you, respond. Hesitation dulls clarity. Waiting too long allows doubt to speak louder than truth. I am not warning you to frighten you. I am protecting what I have prepared for you. Some blessings are connected to movement, not waiting. Some doors stay open only for those who are willing to step forward when they are invited. I need you to release what you have been holding tightly out of fear. Release the fear of being disappointed again. Release the fear of making the wrong choice. Release the fear of trusting me fully. You have carried these fears for a long time, and they have shaped your decisions more than you realize. Fear has told you to stay where you are, even when where you are no longer brings life. Fear has told you to hold on to pain because it feels familiar. But I did not create you to live confined by fear. Let go of bitterness. I know it forms as protection. I know it came from being hurt, overlooked, misunderstood, or betrayed. I know it helped you survive seasons when things were unfair. But bitterness is not meant to stay. It weighs down your heart and clouds your vision. You do not need bitterness to be strong anymore. You are stronger now. Release it into my hands. I will handle what hurt you. I will bring justice where it is needed. You do not need to carry that burden forward. Let go of overthinking. You have tried to solve everything in your mind, replaying conversations, imagining outcomes, preparing for every possible failure. I understand why you learned that preparation felt safer than hope. But overthinking is not wisdom when it replaces trust. There are things you cannot reason your way through. There are steps that only make sense once you take them. I am asking you to quiet your mind enough to hear me clearly and follow me simply. Trust me fully, not partially, not cautiously, fully. Trust does not mean the absence of fear. It means choosing me even when fear is present. Trust means believing that I see what you cannot see, that I know what you do not know, and that I love you more deeply than you love yourself. When you trust me, you do not have to control outcomes. You do not have to protect yourself from every possible pain. You rest in the knowledge that I am leading you. I want you to understand this clearly. Hesitation can cause missed blessings, not because I punish you, but because moments pass. Timing matters. When the tide comes in, you move with it. When a door opens, you walk through it. When I speak, I act, and I invite you to act with me. If you wait too long, you may find yourself trying to recreate a moment that was meant to be entered, not analyzed. Do not confuse waiting on me with resisting me. Waiting is active trust. Resistance is delayed obedience. You will know the difference by the peace or lack of peace in your heart. When I am calling you forward, staying still will feel heavy. That heaviness is not rest, it is tension. I want to release you from the tension by guiding you into movement. I am not asking you to leap alone. I am holding your hand. I am steadying your steps. I am not pushing you into the unknown without support. I am walking with you into what I have already prepared. The leap before you is not into darkness. It is into alignment. It is into purpose. It is into a future that matches the growth you have already lived through. Stay attentive right now. Do not let distractions pull you away. Do not let familiar habits convince you that this is just another message, another moment that can be revisited later. Some instructions are time-sensitive. This is one of them. What I am asking of you now will make sense later, but it must be chosen now. Release the need to see the whole path. You only need the next step. Release the pressure to be perfect. You only need to be willing. Release the fear of change. Change is the doorway to what you have been praying for. You cannot stay the same and receive something new. Transformation requires movement, and movement requires trust. Write "I love you" more with every breath. Jesus, if His presence carries you daily, and share this video.